Now, all of this stuff we didn't have to do it. And did it add to the budget? Yes, a little bit, but it wasn't to a point to where we was out of budget. Adding these small things to your fix and flip is what's going to separate you in this market. Hello, everyone. This is Andre Beraud with the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Super excited to have you here today for the Yes to Real Estate Fix and Flip opportunity. This is an experience just for you and the millions of people who's watching and listening. So thank you once again for joining us today. Before we get started, big shout out to the people who really makes this engine run. Vroom, vroom, right? Big shout out to my lovely wife, Joanne Beraud. Joanne is one half of Yes to Real Estate. She's one half of my marriage, right? So either way, she's gonna get half. All right. For all my men out there, make sure you get that right. But Joe, thank you so much for what you do for the brand and the business. The kids and I cherish you. The team cherish you, and thank you for doing what you do. And then we have Chase. Chase Beraud is 6 years old, and then my daughter Skylar Beraud is 3 years old. And with those two, they are doing amazing things within the business. So Chase, Skylar, thank you so much for what you do for the brand and for the business. Dad loves you and continue the great work. I know in the morning time when we drop the kids off for school, we say a prayer over their life. And then we say the Yes to Real Estate chant, right? So it says, thank you for saying yes to real estate. See you at the top, right? And then we say yes to real estate, right? And so Chase and I has been schooling Skylar on how to say it, and now she's saying it and beating us to the punch. So it's definitely working. You can train your kids up and be a role model for your kids, and they are watching and listening to you as well. Big shout out to the team, Mad Production with the ones and twos, Brittany and Gerald. Thank you guys so much for what you do for the brand and for the business. The marketing, the branding has gone to a whole nother level, and Mad Marketing and Mad Production is doing an excellent job. Branding and marketing is crucial for the growth of your business. So Britt and Gerald, thank you for that. And then we have the legend, the one and only Jasmine with CC Network. Jazz, thank you so much for what you do for the brand and the business. Thank you for coming up with the idea of just having a Yes to Real Estate podcast. What makes the brand so strong is having great individuals working beside. And Jazz is another young lady who's doing amazing things, the CEO of CC Network. And because of you, Jazz, the millions of people are able to watch the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Thank you, Jazz, for saying yes to real estate. And then we have Janet. She's over our Facebook marketing, our Clubhouse, getting our guests for the Clubhouse, and our Facebook Yes to Real Estate Masterclass. So Janet Da Silva, thank you so much for what you do for the brand, overseeing it, and giving 100% every single time to make sure Yes to Real Estate is winning. Thank you, Janet. And then we have the one and only Ashley. Ashley is one half of Russ Green Properties, or her mom herself owns it. And then she's one half of Yes to Real Estate. So what does that mean? A partnership. As we know, partnership is so crucial for the growth of your business. Ashley is great at finding deals, so her and I partner on doing fix and flips. And she's also the GC for our new construction as well. So Jazz, I already said you, Jazz, but Ashley, thank you, Ashley, for what you do for the brand. And then we have Diamond herself, Diamond Jackson. She's our transaction coordinator, and also she's our GC for the new construction. She oversees the soft cost steps, the hard cost, dealing with the contractors, overseeing new construction. We have so many projects coming down the pipeline. Diamond and Ashley are overseeing those things. So Diamond, thank you so much for what you do for the brand and business and doing an excellent job with GCN. So today, for the millions of people, I wanted to break down our flip project. I'm gonna pull it up here. I wanted to let the world in on our project, where we at now, how much did it cost to do the rehab, how much we purchased the property for, what are some of the challenges we ran into, and even in this market that we're in now, the interest rates are high. People are not buying as they were last year, right? The market has slowed down, but even with all of that, you still can produce a product, list it right, and get it on a contract. So let's break it down. So I feel like Mr. Rogers. I wanted to invite you into our home today, right? So the project that we're going to talk about today is 10309 Sierra Drive, Houston, Texas, 77051. So Ashley and I did this flip, okay? So let's break it down. So in every flip, because this season we're talking about fixing flips, in every flip, you make money when you buy right. When you buy right, you eat right. Say it with me. All right. When you buy right, you eat right. So now let's eat. So we purchased this property for $60,000. That's right. Say it again. $60,000. A 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. Right? So you begin to say, well, how did you guys find this property? Well, I'm glad you asked, right? In this market, you make the most money. I'm not saying all the time, but majority of the time from off-market deals. So what is off-market deal? An off-market deal is where you find a property that's not listed on the MLS, the multiple listing service, and it's the transaction is between you as the buyer and then the seller, right? So Ashley found this property off market by building rapport, building relationship, and it took her 3 to 4 months to get this property under contract. Ashley. So she got it under contract. It took about 4 months. Purchased it for 60, and our rehab took longer than what expected. Right? It was a full gut job, so it took us around 5 months for this rehab, or 4 months for this rehab. All right. So we purchased it for $60,000. We put around $85,000 into the rehab. Yeah, that's what I said. $85,000 into the rehab. So if you look at the numbers, $60,000. I'm pulling out my calculator because I don't want to count on my fingers. So you look at the numbers, $60,000, right? Times 85,000. Well, how in the world did I get that? Okay, not times, but 60,000 plus 85. I got 85 million. I'm like, wait a minute, what this? We're not in Beverly Hills. We over there in South Park. So $60,000 purchase price, 85,000 rehab. So you're looking at all in 145,000. Right? So the question is, what did we do with that $85,000 to get to the 85? Because 85,000 for a rehab budget is a tremendous large amount of money, right? Would you agree? I would agree too, right? So the first thing that we did was we pulled permits, right? You have to pull permits. Also, we cleared out the front of the home. We had large trees, right? Because you couldn't see the home at first, right? So, and it had grading issues. So pull out the trees in the front, pull out the trees in the back, right? And then that alone cost around $4,000 to grade and remove all the trees because you couldn't see the back of the house and you couldn't see the front of the house. So before we even got started on the home, we spent around $4,000 to $4,500 just so you can see the house, right? And then we start with the siding. Well, we started with the inside of the house as far as removing the sheetrock, right? Checking the 2x4s, checking the 2x6s, make sure that it was up to par. You're talking about new plumbing, right? Around 6K. You're talking about new electrical, rewiring the house, another 6K, right? So that's 12K right there, right? So you talk about, and we got our electrician on the ones and twos in the back. Would you say that's a good number? 6K for electrical, right? About 6K, but it's about 6,000. Okay. You're getting a real live here today, okay? So 6K for the electrical, 6K for the plumbing, right? And then you tap into looking at the sheetrock, right? Tape and float, re-sheetrock the whole house, right? And then you want to go into, after the sheetrock, your HVAC system. HVAC costs around 7K, right? And here's another thing. Anytime you're doing a rehab home and you get the quotes, you want to make sure, especially for the HVAC, like how many ducts are going into the primary bedroom, right? How many ducts you have going to the living room and the kitchen area, and then the tonnage of your AC unit, right? So for a 2,000 square foot home, you're looking at, well, actually it's about 1,800 to 2,000, but for that, one way of gauging make sure you have the right amount of tonnage is you typically get 400 to 500 per square foot for 1 ton. So 1 ton for every 400 square feet, right? So 4, 8, 12, 16, right? So you're looking at 4.5 tons for a house of that size, right? So making sure that the tonnage is correct as well. That's you want to check as well. And then the roof, right? So you're looking at the roof, you're looking at removing the old roof. But before you even start work on the siding, removing the old roof to see if you need to replace any plywood, right? We had to replace some plywood, right? We call it the paper that you put on top of the plywood, right? And then the siding, right? Removing the old siding and replace it with new siding, right? You also have to look into that. So you look at your siding, you look at your roof. The roof costs another maybe 5,000 to 6,000, right? And here's another thing: when you're replacing your roof, what type of shingles are you using, right? Mostly, we tend to use the 30-year shingles, right? And here's how you can tell if it's the 30-year shingles or the 20-year shingles. You can tell by how much meat is on the shingles itself. So typically, if you're looking at me, your shingles are kind of like crossing each other like that, and you see like the flats on top, right? Now the 20-year shingles have less meat on the shingle itself. In the 30 years, you can see the definition of the shingle. Now I'm telling you, if you do a rehab, go ahead and go do the 30-year shingles, right? Pay a little extra more to provide a quality product, because here's what's going to happen. When it comes time for an inspection, they're going to climb the roof and they're going to look at those things, right? They're going to look at, well, is it 20-year shingles or is it 30-year shingles? So spend the extra money to bring that out. Another thing that we did with the flip that brought our funds up to 80,000 was we went in with luxury vinyl flooring throughout the home, right? So it's a couple things that we did when we put flooring down, and it is crucial for you to understand this in your fix and flip. And we put what you call the subfloor. Typically, the subfloor is a pad that you put down before you put your luxury vinyl down, or some instances, the pad comes on the vinyl flooring itself. Now, it's a little bit more to have the pad on the vinyl flooring, but I'm telling you, it's worth every dollar, right? Because here's what happens. If you put down your floors and no padding, you can feel the mushy, right? And it's almost like you bouncing up and down, right? And then the cushion is not there. So that means you're hearing everything beneath the floor because there's no padding, right? So you're thinking you're going to save $2,000 by not putting padding down. And actually, it's going to cost you, because when the consumer, the buyer, which is the women, shout out to the women, when they walk and they feel like they're floating on cloud nine and they're hearing everything beneath, they're going to think you have foundation issues, right? So you might as well pay the extra money for the padding, right? Pay the extra money for the luxury vinyl, because it's several things that's going to sell the product: the flooring, the kitchen, and the restroom. and the guys when it's time to pay their mortgage. But other than that, that's it. Okay. So we spend the extra money on the luxury vinyl. We spend the extra money on the padding, right? And then another thing that we spent money on was the fixtures. And let me tell you this, having a color scheme on a fix and flip home is so crucial, right? You don't want gold handles, then the silver handles, and then Formica countertops, right? Because you think you're trying to save money, but actually it's going to cost you. So what we tend to do on our flips is we can tend to have a color scheme. And we have this in all of our flips, right? So for example, for the restroom, we tend to use black grout for the floors. Our tile for the walls is white, right? With black grout in the middle. And then we call the end tile, right? So the end tile helps keep the tile in place. So when you see the end part of the tile on the shower, we have these black caps on it to where it shows unison and neatness of the towel. And then we have like a soap dish in the middle of every shower that we do that coordinates with the towel that we have on the floor, is also the towel that we have in the soap dish, right? Color coordination. So now when you walk into the restroom, you see the black faucet, right, with a water flow sprout. You see the black grout. You see the black handles, right? You see the black hinges, you see the black door knockers, and you see the black handle, right? And so when you walk in, you see the marshmallow white paint, okay? You see the gloss white baseboards. You see a black fixture, right? And then you see another black fixture over the lights. For the over the mirror area, and then your mirror has a black outline. And then your cabinets are shaker white cabinets with quartz countertops on it. All of this is the Yes to Real Estate signature, to where you can go into any home and see this color design. You're like, that's part of Yes to Real Estate. So it's crucial when you do your fix and flip that you have a design and that you're not everywhere, that you're not flowing. You want to be able to take the consumer, which is that's right, the women, because they are the buyers. You want to be able to take them on a journey, because women are going to make sure that it has a color coordination throughout the house. And the way to help sell your home is to take the women on a journey. So as you take on a journey, I call it bringing the wife in. So Joanne is our exterior designer and our stager for Yes to Real Estate. So as we walk through the front door, we want to take the buyer on the journey. So as soon as they walk in, they hit with a fresh aroma of plug-ins, right? Sometimes orange, sometimes vanilla. But as soon as you walk in, you're invited with the smell of Yes to Real Estate, right? So you come in and you see nothing but bright marshmallow walls, right? And we tend to go with the bright marshmallow walls is because it's marshmallow white, but it kind of works hand in hand with the gloss white baseboard. So it gives us a clean look to where the buyer can add colors if they want to layer it on, but pretty much come in and make the home their own, right? And then we use marshmallow white because it makes the room look larger than what it really is, right? It really helps with the perception of the home being larger than what it is. So we hit them with the marshmallow white paint. Then you come into the kitchen. Here's another great thing when you do your fix and flip is that if you have a large kitchen, put an island in, right? Think about putting a waterfall edges. That's what we did on Sierra. The waterfall edges. And then we have it to where you can sit at the island as well. Then we put 3 pendant lights on top. Now, all of this stuff we didn't have to do it. And did it add to the budget? Yes, a little bit, but it wasn't to a point to where we was out of budget. Adding these small things to your fix and flip is what's going to separate you in this market, So imagine walking in, open concept, right? And then you have your kitchen, your island, your pendant and lights, three hanging from the top. Of course, that is black, hanging on top of your quartz countertop, right? And then you have your nice backsplash with your black grout, and then your upper and bottom cabinets, which are white shaker cabinets with your black handles, right? And as you watching all of this, every area that you go in, it smells good, right? It smells neat, it smells clean. And then you walk throughout the whole home, everything is neat, everything is clean, and you're like, man, this is nice. But before you even get to the home, my question for you, anytime you do a fix and flip, is what do they see before they go in? Because I tell my clients and my students, we tell our clients and our students that presentation matters. I'm gonna say that again. Presentation matters. So what is the buyer seeing before they even come to the home? Are they seeing trash in the yard? Is the grass green? Right? Especially here in Texas, is it green? Is the grass cut? Right? Is the driveway, has it been what you call it, clean as well? Right? Is the outside of the windows clean? Right? All of that matters to the buyer as soon as they pull up to the home. And that's what separates us in this market to where we can sell a product still in this market quickly. So they drive up to the home. We have a color scheme with the black trim, gray, hardy, and then we hit them with a pop of orange on the front door. And we carry on with our black theme, right? We got the black mailbox, we got the black lights fixture, and then we got the green grass. Yes, we graded the yard and brought in about 3 pallets of grass for the backyard and the front yard because presentation matters, right? Because at the beginning, we had spots to where the grass wasn't growing. And so we brought in grass for the front and the backyard and an additional $1,000. But guess what? It brought out the home, right? So you see that, you're like, oh, wow, this is nice. And then you go into the home and you're like, man, this is really nice. And then you go to the backyard. You're like, man, it has grass in the backyard. We put rocks on the left side and rocks on the right side of the home. So the question is, well, Dre, why will you spend another $1,000 on bringing rocks in? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because grass is not going to grow on the right side of the home or the left side. So you're going to have spots to where the grass is growing and spots to where it's mud. So what do you do to create a clear path from the front of the home to the back of the home so the client can get a great experience? We add rocks. It was an additional $1,000 to add. It was about 3 trucks of rocks in the front, rocks on the side, and the rocks on the right hand side of the home. So now you can come through the front of the home. You can go through the side of the home, inside the home, and the back of the home, and it's a complete masterpiece. A complete masterpiece to where it's hard to find anything wrong with the home because everything is presented to make sure that the consumer has a great product. Well, so the next question is, well, okay, you have it on the market, right? So we talked about 60K, 85K in repairs, right? So we talked about that. So we come out to be, what was our number again? 60,000 plus 85, 145,000 in repair, total purchase price and rehab. And we have it on the market for 250,000, right? So you're looking at, after paying realtor fees, closing cost fees, you're looking at walking away with $90,000, right? And here's the great thing about it. It was on the market for 9 days. Say 9 days. Yes. Well, how is that possible in this market? Well, remember, I just took you on a journey of everything we have done to the home from the outside, everything we have done on the inside of the home, everything we did on the back of the home, right? And we have the best home in the neighborhood, period, right? And here's another thing. It's slightly below market value, right? Because typically, if we was listing this home last year, this is a $265,000 home all day long, right? But because of the high interest rate, because of the market that we in, we knew we have to list it below market value, right? And we knew that it's a lot of homes in the zip code that's for sale. right? So we got to make sure that our product is the best, but it's also priced right for the consumer. And right now, with our research, the homes that are still flying out the market are the homes that's selling from anywhere from 250 to 275,000, right? So if you can get the home listed at 250 and maybe below that, and it's a great product, it's still flying off the market. Okay, so that's $250,000 sales price on the contract in 9 days because we operate and providing a great product. So just to recap, we bought it for 60, 85K in rehab, 145 all in, right? We the roof, right? Um, New floors, new electrical, new plumbing, new HVAC, new windows, new sheetrock, right? Treated wood, um, upgraded the kitchen, quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances, tankless water heater, right? 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. We put a lot of time and effort and a lot of funds into bringing this beauty back to life. And because of that, we was able to sell it for $250,000. So if you are doing your first flip and you're trying to figure out where to start from, join our Yes to Real Estate Fix and Flip coaching program. Here's where you can go and we go over numbers, we analyze properties, and you get to walk the properties that we are rehabbing now. We go over plays of what we're doing to get properties, and we have these heart-to-heart conversation on how you can go to the next level. So for the millions of people who's watching and listening right now, this is your time, especially if you're looking to do fix and flip, to go and do it. It's no excuse. We just told you how we found this property, how much we purchased this for, how much we put into rehab, 9 days on the market, $90,000 profit. That can be you. What is stopping you from being the one to make this $90,000 profit? This is your opportunity to change the trajectory of your life by rehabbing homes. And if you say you do not know where to start, join our Yes to Real Estate Fix and Flip course. We can help you and navigate you through the turbulence times and be a coach for you. I tell people this, people who pay attention. You want to be in a room of greatness to avoid the pitfalls of just doing stuff because you're trying to figure it out. You don't need to try to figure it out. You have people like myself, people like Diamond, people like Ashley, who's doing it, who can help you navigate. So this is your season. I want to leave this lasting word with you. So I remember we was taking pictures a couple weeks ago, and shout out to Britt for bringing the photographer. And I had the brother had it on his tux. I had my bow tie on, looking real good, right? And he said, "Okay, I want you to stand right here, and I want you to pose." All right. And I stood right there, and I was in my pose. He said, "Okay, stand right there." So he took about 5 steps back. He went to the side, he went to the left, he went to the right, and he put out his camera, and he was just clicking it. He said, "Okay, be still. Click, 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 click. Oh, we almost there. Boom, boom." He's just taking pictures. Boom, boom. Oh, we almost there. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, I almost got it. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what you mean you almost got it? I'm hearing you taking pictures. Well, if you don't got it by now, we in trouble, right? So he said, we almost there. We almost there. Boom, 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 boom. I see the lighting in the back. Boom, 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 boom. And okay, this is it. Be still. This is it. Click. All right, that's the shot. Come look at it. And so when I went to go look at it, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, you took around 12 pictures to get that one shot. He said, yes. He said, here's what I was looking at. He said, as I was taking the picture, I was looking at the backyard with the trees moving from left to right. I wanted to make sure the trees was green. I was also looking at the backsplash. The backsplash looked kind of blurry. So I want to make sure that was in par with your skin tone. Also, I was looking at the sink. It seemed like it was dripping, dripping, dripping. I wanted to get it at the right shot so that drip was right in place. He said, I was looking at everything around you. But Andre, you was just looking at me. In your mind, Andre, you was just looking for that one shot. In my mind, I was looking at the 12 shots that was going on all at once so I can get that one shot. See, many times in our life, we are allowing things around us to prevent us from that one shot. That one shot can change the trajectory of your life. When I went to go look at that one shot, I said, that's perfect. But it took 12 shots to get there. See, we are looking for perfection in one shot, but perfection takes 12 shots sometimes to get that one shot. Are we willing to take 12 shots to get that one? The moral of the story is we got to get out and take those shots. We got to get out and go look for those properties. We got to get out and get around people who are taking the shots, because your perfection is in the 12 shots, not the one. So for the millions of people who's watching and listening, take your shot. Take your 12 shots. If it takes 24 shots to get that one perfect one, do it. Because I tell you this, when you get that one perfect shot, it's going to be worth all 24 that you took. So thank you for saying yes to taking your shot. Thank you for saying yes to your season. And thank you for saying yes to real estate. See you and the millions of people who's watching at the top.